Welcome to All Things Moons and Stars. We're going to have a quick look at our Mercury retrograde motion. We're going to have a look at the eclipses that are coming up in August as well. So let's start with Mercury, who is stationed for retrograde in the sign of Cancer on the 29th of June. He enters his shadow period as early as the 13th of June. What do we know about Mercury? He rules the way we understand, the way we speak, the way we think, the way we listen, the way we communicate in any which way. He also rules all electronic movable parts. So anything that is weak will break in a Mercury retrograde, and that includes conversations. That includes relationships. It includes, of course, our cell phones, our computers, our washing machine, our TVs, etc. So the ideal thing to do in this position, and in terms of what Mercury is about to do, is to triple check everything. Make sure that we have looked at the message before we send it. Is it going to the right person? Is this something that I can take my time and think about it before I send the message? In other words, avoid reacting to anything that is happening, because Mercury, when he goes retrograde, he actually demands that we slow down. He's saying, I need you to slow down and think about what it is that you are feeling, or thinking, or want to talk about. He does not support legal contract signing when he's retrograde. Mercury is the trickster when he's retrograde, which means we don't see things that we would normally see when Mercury is direct. That's why we avoid signing documents. That is also why we avoid starting new relationships in a Mercury retrograde, because we don't see what we should be seeing. We also don't start new businesses. And I also wouldn't go out looking for new clients in a Mercury retrograde, because it supports the past only. Then if you are looking for a new job, the only time to do that is from mid-August. If you are desperate, I would say that you would need to look at people you've worked with before in order for that support from Mercury to come through for a job change. Mercury, of course, brings back the past, and he always brings back the past to make sure that we are clear with it. It doesn't mean that we need to go back there. It's about the clarity, the completion. And because he's in the sign of Cancer, Cancer is more about the nurturing, the caring. It's about home. It's about mom. And of course, if you know your chart and you know where the Cancer cusp of your house is in your chart, you will know exactly what area Mercury retrograde is going to be impacting. The same goes for the eclipses that are coming up. So let's just think about Mercury for a moment. We are going to be encouraged to slow down, take our time, because the past comes up. It could be issues related from the past pertaining to your Cancer house in your chart. We have the eclipses coming up in August, and of course, as with all eclipses, they happen in twos. We always have a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. And the eclipses are a giant kick up the butt from the universe. It's when the universe is saying, you can't hide this stuff anymore. It brings everything to the surface so that it can be dealt with. Whether it's people, situation, events, feelings, conversations, you cannot hide the truth. And this is when the eclipse brings the truth to the surface so that we can manage them, repair what needs to be repaired if possible, or move on. Remember that a full moon eclipse is an emotional illumination. So everything feels a lot worse than it is. And the solar eclipse is very masculine, so it's a lot more aggressive. Because it's the sun, it's about our ego versus the moon, which is our emotions. So there's always this conflict that goes on. But in traditional astrology, we look at these eclipses, the houses that they are going through these eclipses at exact degrees, so that we can see how it affects you and which area of your life it affects you. So our New moon solar eclipse is on the 12th of August. It's going to be at 20 degrees of Leo. So if you have any planets at 20 degrees of Leo, if you have any aspects that are, difficult ones, challenging ones versus a really nice aspect, 20 degrees of Leo, that depends on your chart. And our full moon lunar eclipse is on the 28th of August, and that's going to be at 4 degrees of Pisces. So again, any planets you have at 4 degrees of Pisces, or 4 degrees of Pisces in your chart, for example, where this eclipse is moving through, that's where it's going to affect you the most. So like I said, it's good to know what your chart is. It's good to know what's on the cusp of your houses, because these are the areas that are going to most impact you and the result of the eclipses. The eclipses are super intense. Remember, they are like full moons and new moons that are on steroids, so they are super intense. And the best thing we have on our side is our self-awareness. So practice self-awareness, do the best you can, avoid reaction, rather take a moment, just like a 90-second moment, where you can just reflect and then decide if this is really the right time to respond. Is this really something I need to work with right now? Leo is, about the sun, so it's all about ego. Pisces is very emotional. It's also very much about our psychic ability. It's also got no boundaries. So we are looking at a Leo new moon solar eclipse, which is very fixed and stubborn and kind of aggressive. And then we look at the full moon, which is going to be in Pisces, and that's got no boundaries as to our emotions and where they go. So we need to be super self-aware so that we can navigate these areas in our lives a lot more proactively. Remember to get hold of a professional astrologer like myself and do a chart. Look at your chart and see what is happening, what areas of your life is taking place. You will have noticed already that it's taking place there anyway, because the eclipses don't hide, they bring the truth out. I wish you a glorious and thankful Thursday. Thank you for watching All Things Moons and Stars, and we will chat soon again. Take care. Bye-bye for now.